The weight of being the perfect son. Everyone thought my brother had it easy, but being the perfect son nearly broke him. When I was growing up, I used to think my little brother, Caleb, had the easiest life in the world. While I was constantly arguing with mom about curfews, grounding rules, and attitude problems, Caleb was the golden child. He was 2 years younger than me, quiet, neat, polite, always earning straight A's. Whenever I got in trouble, mom and dad would sigh and say, "Why can't you be more like your brother?" That sentence alone could make my blood boil. To everyone else, Caleb was the model kid, while I was the messy, rebellious one. But what no one understood was that I shared a bathroom with him, saw the little things our parents missed, the cracks beneath the perfect surface. I noticed how he'd sit on the edge of the bathtub for long stretches, staring blankly at the tiles. Or how he started skipping lunch at school, not because he wasn't hungry, but because kids made fun of him for being quiet. He never told mom and dad. He just kept everything locked inside. When he was 14, Caleb got his first girlfriend. Her name was Lily, and he was over the moon for exactly 3 weeks, until she dumped him for a football player. Caleb locked himself in his room for 2 days. Mom would knock gently, asking if he wanted food, and he'd always reply, "I'm fine." But when he finally came out, something in him had shifted. He smiled at dinner, did his homework, helped dad in the yard, same old Caleb. But his smile never touched his eyes again. Dad didn't make it easier either. Whenever Caleb showed any flicker of sadness, dad would brush it off with lines like, "Real men don't cry," or "Shake it off, son. You'll be fine." Caleb would just nod and retreat back to his room. By sophomore year, he barely spoke at all. He'd come home from school, breeze through his assignments, eat dinner quietly, then disappear upstairs. If I asked how he was doing, he'd mutter, "I'm good," in this flat, empty voice that made it obvious he wasn't. Late at night, I'd hear the hum of his video games through the walls. Sometimes I'd wake up at 3 a.m. and see the light under his door still glowing. When I asked him why, he just said, "Can't sleep anyway." Our parents didn't notice a thing. To them, Caleb was perfect. No arguments, no mistakes, no drama. Mom bragged to her friends, "Caleb never gives us trouble." Dad would beam and say, "At least one of our kids is easy." But Caleb wasn't easy. He was drowning quietly, while everyone mistook his silence for strength. One night, I got home late from a party and went into the kitchen for water. I noticed the garage light was on. When I peeked inside, I found Caleb sitting on Dad's workbench in total darkness, just staring at nothing. I sat next to him and asked, "What are you doing out here?" "Nothing," he muttered, eyes fixed on the floor. "Come on, Caleb. What's going on?" It took a long silence before he finally spoke. His voice was low and cracked in the middle. "Do you ever feel angry and numb at the same time? Like you want to smash something, but also, nothing matters anyway?" That stopped me cold. He kept going. "Everyone thinks I'm fine because I don't scream about it like you do. But I'm not fine." Hearing that broke something in me. All those years of being told he was the perfect one had trapped him. He thought he wasn't allowed to feel sad or weak. Dad had drilled it into him. Real men stay silent. Real men keep it together. But Caleb was collapsing under the weight of being perfect. "You don't have to be fine all the time," I told him. That's when the tears came, not loud sobs, just silent streams rolling down his face while he stared straight ahead. I don't even know what I'm supposed to feel anymore. Everyone expects me to just handle it quietly. We sat in that garage until 4 in the morning. He opened up about how kids at school mocked him for being quiet. How every time he wanted to cry, he thought of Dad's voice telling him to toughen up. How he felt guilty for struggling, because he was supposed to be the easy one. The next day, I made him promise to see the school counselor. It took 3 weeks of convincing, but he finally agreed. And when he was too nervous to go alone, I went with him, to every single appointment. Because Caleb didn't need to be perfect. He just needed someone to see him.